The trouble really started 3 weeks ago with a bit of raunchy witticism. Not that it actually caused any of it, that's not what I mean. It was pure coincidence that the joke happened to coincide with my life getting turned upside down. Of course, to be fair, I wasn't exactly leading a normal life before that either, but, well, let's just say things got a lot more complicated. But what do you expect when you're called out by someone like Nino Vitale? Perhaps I should back up. My name is... well, actually, that's sort of complicated too. But at the time, I was going by Santo Salvo, and I was working as an enforcer for the Marino family in Chicago. Mostly that meant I made pickups and deliveries, and on occasion busted a few heads if that's what was asked of me. But on the day in question, things were a bit slow, and I was hanging out down on 6th with a couple of like-minded individuals passing the time.
So the guy picks her up
and throws her into the ocean.
Hey, who's telling the joke here?
Come on, let him finish.
Everybody's heard it before.
So he throws her into the ocean and says, now you're...
Santo.
Yeah, Sonny. Sonny Vitale was the underboss of the Marino clan, basically like the vice president of our little mob family. To say he was a bit dense was putting it mildly. He was one of those guys that made you wonder if his parents had dropped him a lot as a kid. But he was a Vitale, and as such was afforded an important title, even if no real responsibility came with it.
You're in trouble now.
Shut up, Frankie.
Come on.
Where are we going?
What do I look like? Pat Sajak? No more questions.
Pat Sajak?
What? You don't think I watch Jeopardy?
Well, Sajak is actually the...
What?
Nothing. Never mind.
Good, then let's go.
I followed Sonny across the street to Lucky's, an aging but well-kept bar owned by a tough Irishman that went by the name of Mickey. For some odd reason, it was a favorite spot for many of the Marino underlings, and I never had quite figured out how a self-professed former IRA soldier came to be associated with an Italian mafia family. The place was empty, an unusual sight even for 10 o'clock in the morning, and I started to get nervous. Look, Sonny, I don't know what's going on, but...
Mr. Salvo, thank you for joining me.
Nino? Antonino Vitale, known by everyone in the neighborhood simply as Nino, was the head of the Marino family. He was a short, heavy-set man, with broad shoulders and a slightly greasy, receding hairline. He was the kind of guy you didn't want to meet in a back alley. Seeing him gave me a sinking feeling, and I instinctively glanced around in search of danger. For a low-level enforcer like me to be called into a private meeting with Nino could only mean trouble.
Have a seat, boy. Thank you, Sonny.
No problem, boss.
You can leave now.
Oh, sure. Sorry, boss.
Nino offered me a glass of Jameson, and I accepted. If this was the end, I may as well enjoy my last moments.
Nervous?
Should I be?
Most guys are the first time they meet the boss.
I imagine most guys probably would be. Nino studied me curiously, almost as if I entertained him, and I returned his stare, hoping to hide any perceived weakness.
I've been hearing good things about you. In fact, I could see considering you a friend of ours in the near future.
Now this was just cruel, teasing me like this. I knew now that this was it, and I would soon feel the cold steel of a gun barrel in the back of my head. Just get on with it, I wanted to say, but I didn't, of course.
There's just one problem. You're a rat.
My heart skipped a beat at the sight of the Beretta now resting on the bar between us, and I intuitively began lying through my teeth. Whoa, look, Nino,
It's Mr. Vitale to you.
Mr. Vitale. I don't know what you heard, but it...
Look, don't insult my intelligence, all right? You don't think I have people in the FBI? You spy on us, we spy on you. It's that simple.
What could I say? He was right. I've been undercover for almost 13 months, recruited out of the CPD Academy specifically for this assignment. My mind blanked and I hesitated as I searched for a response. And that was all the confirmation he needed.
So, you're a rat. You don't have to admit it, but don't try to argue with me. I'm actually here to make you a deal.
A deal?
Yes. I'm gonna let you live. And in return, you're gonna do me a favor.
He wants you to do what?
Investigate a murder. Michael Busquetta, my handler, was pacing nervously in his office on the 15th floor of the FBI's Chicago field office. It was a stereotypical office, like something out of a movie set, right down to the FBI seal on the coffee mug and a small American flag in the pencil cup. Mike kept glancing through the window, as if one of Nino's men might be loitering out there just waiting to pounce.
Absolutely not. Your cover's blown. We're pulling you out.
Hold on a minute. Shouldn't we at least talk about this?
There's nothing to talk about, John. You walked out of there without a hole in your head. I guarantee it won't happen twice.
He used my real name to show he was serious. It was customary for UCs to use their aliases around the office. Supposedly it made it easier to stay in character. Or something. Calling me John was his way of saying Santo was done. But I wasn't convinced. I think you're looking at this all wrong, Mike.
And what about Cindy and the kids? Have you thought about them?
Of course I have. They're at her mother's this weekend. I called her on the way over here. They're fine.
I'll get them some protection just to be safe. Until we can relocate you guys.
Think how much I'd be able to learn about the organization with 2 weeks on the inside.
2 weeks?
That's not enough time. A normal homicide investigation lasts...
Or I could just shoot you right now.
2 weeks sounds good. Of course, I would have agreed to anything at that point.
But you don't actually think it can be done.
I think I'd like to try it.
Well, for the record, I'm against this. But, just out of curiosity, what do they know about this murder?
Well, as you know, these guys are pretty secretive, even amongst themselves. But he gave me enough to point me in the right direction.
Last night I was having dinner with Luigi. It was a typical evening, the food was average. Luigi was pretty quiet. He left around 10, said he wasn't feeling well. Just as he reached the sidewalk, I of course ran to the window immediately, and there he was lying motionless on the sidewalk.
Did you get a good look at them?
Nah, just a dark sedan heading down 5th, no plates.
All right, here's my terms. If I'm going to do this, it's got to be my way. If you want the truth, I'll get it. But I'm gonna need some latitude.
All right. How about I promote you to my consigliere?
That would help.
But you're not even a made man.
Well, apparently I am now.
John, none of this makes any sense. He can't just snap his fingers and you're in.
No, it takes a little more than that.
There's one catch, though.
What's that?
You're gonna have to murder someone.
What?
And not just anyone. For me to promote you to consigliere, it'll have to be high profile.
And how am I supposed to do that?
Or I can...
Shoot me right now. Yeah, I got it.
Just make it happen. And do it quick.
Undercover, presented by Strobie Studios, is written and directed by Scott Strosahl, and features the talented voices of Greg Kilberger, Cody Burk, Michael Helgens, Steve Rimpici, and Scott Strosahl, and music by Kevin MacLeod. Join us next week as the mystery continues, and Santo takes the necessary steps to become an accepted member of the Marino family, while simultaneously beginning his investigation into the murder of Luigi Vitale. Until then, stay safe, have a good night.
Mostly that meant I made pickups and deliveries, and on occasion busted a few heads, if that's what it was.
So he throws her into the ocean and says, damn it. I can't fake laugh at all.
It's hard to do, yeah.
So
Well, then believe it's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Shut up, Frankie. Don't make me spot you in the spicole. I don't know what that means.
I'll get you.